Good evening, Internet. If you ride a motorcycle in the UK, or frankly almost anywhere in the world, you've probably had that moment. You're enjoying a nice flowing road, maybe leaning gently through a bend. The bike feels planted, the engine is humming, and then suddenly, bang. The front wheel drops into a pothole or slams into a sharp ridge in the tarmac. Your suspension compresses violently, the bars twitch in your hands, and for a split second, your heart jumps into your mouth. If you're lucky, you ride it out. If you're not lucky, it can end in a crash. For car drivers, potholes are annoying. For motorcyclists, they can be life-threatening. Unlike cars, we only have two small contact patches connecting us to the road. When those contact patches hit a deep hole, a broken tarmac, or uneven repair, the consequences can be severe. Bent rims, blown tyres, loss of traction mid-corner, or worse, being thrown off the bike completely. And the unfortunate truth is that road conditions in many places are getting worse. Years of weather damage, heavy traffic, and underfunded road maintenance means that potholes, cracks, patches, and broken surfaces are now a daily hazard for riders. But here's the good news. While you can't control the road surface, you can control how you react to it. And today, I'm going to go deep into exactly that. In this video, I'll cover how to spot potholes and hazards early, how to position your bike to avoid them, what to do if you hit bumps mid-corner, how to ride safely on badly broken roads, and most importantly, what to do when you cannot avoid a massive pothole. So whether you ride a sports bike, a cruiser, an adventure bike or a commuter, these techniques could genuinely save your bike and possibly your life. Let's get into it. Before we talk about technique, it helps to understand why potholes affect motorcycles so dramatically. Cars have four wheels, wide tyres, long suspension travel, and stability from weight and track width. Motorcycles have two wheels, narrow tyres, much smaller contact patches, and a balance system that depends entirely on traction. When your tyre drops into a pothole, several things can happen instantly. The suspension compresses violently. If the hole is deep enough, the suspension can bottom out, transferring impact directly to the wheel and frame. The tyre can momentarily lose grip as it rebounds out of the hole, which can cause front end washouts, rear wheel slides, and instability during braking or cornering. When the front wheel hits a sharp edge, the handlebars can jerk violently. This is known as deflection. If you're gripping the bars too tightly, that deflection can destabilize the bike. Perhaps the most dangerous scenario is if a pothole appears while leaned over. The suspension movement can upset the chassis and cause the tyre to lose grip. That's why potholes in corners are especially hazardous. But here's the key takeaway. Most pothole crashes happen not because of the pothole itself, but because the rider reacts incorrectly. Sudden braking, stiff arms, target fixation, and panic. Learning the correct response makes all the difference. The first and most effective pothole avoidance technique is simple. Spot the pothole early. Experienced riders don't just look at the road, they scan the road constantly. Your eyes should be doing a repeat pattern. Far ahead, mid-distance, near road surface. Over and over. Look where problems appear first. Potholes rarely appear randomly. They tend to form in predictable places: in the wheel tracks of cars, near drain covers, after frost damage, at the edges of repaired asphalt, near junctions where traffic accelerates and brakes. If you know where potholes typically form, you can anticipate them before you even see them. Watch for the visual clues. Potholes often show signs before they become obvious. Look for dark patches, broken edges, loose gravel, sunken repairs, and standing water. Standing water is particularly dangerous. What looks like a harmless puddle may hide a crater underneath. Many riders have destroyed rims hitting potholes hidden beneath water. If you can't see the road through the water, that is a potential hazard. Use the vanishing point in corners. When riding twisty roads, the vanishing point can help you detect hazards early. If the vanishing point suddenly moves or expands unexpectedly, it may reveal debris, broken tarmac, potholes, animals, stopped vehicles. Keeping your vision far ahead gives you time to react smoothly instead of panicking. Once you start spotting hazards early, the next step is positioning your bike correctly. Where you ride in the lane matters a lot. Most potholes form in the exact places car tyres run, which means riding directly in those wheel tracks often puts you right on top of them. Instead, motorcyclists should usually ride in one of three positions: the left track, the centre track, or the right track. Each has its advantages. The left track is often the safest position on normal roads. The benefits include better visibility around traffic, avoiding potholes in the centre, and staying clear of oncoming vehicles. But be careful of debris near the curb. The centre track of the lane often collects oil, gravel, and road debris, but sometimes it avoids potholes in wheel tracks. Use it carefully and only when the surface looks clean. The right side of the lane gives excellent visibility in left-hand bends, but you must watch for oncoming traffic cutting corners and potholes near the centre line. The key point is flexibility. Good riders constantly adjust their position to avoid hazards. They don't ride in one fixed place. One of the biggest mistakes riders make when hitting rough roads is tensing up. It's a natural reaction. When you see a pothole approaching, your instincts might be to grip the bars tighter, lock your arms and brace for impact. Unfortunately, that's exactly makes things worse. Motorcycles are designed to absorb bumps through suspension and steering movement. If your arms are stiff, the impact translates directly into the handlebars, which can cause the bike to wobble or deflect violently. Instead, keep your grip light but controlled. Your arms should be relaxed enough that the bars can move slightly without fighting you. Think of your hands as guiding the bike, not wrestling with it. Your legs should grip the tank, supporting your body. That takes pressure off the handlebars and improves control. What to do when you hit a pothole in a straight line? Well, sometimes you simply cannot avoid the pothole. Maybe traffic prevents swerving, maybe you see it too late. So what should you do? Well, firstly, stay straight. If possible, keep the bike upright and straight. Avoid sudden swerving at the last second. Last second swerves often cause crashes. Just before impact, roll on the throttle slightly. This shifts weight to the rear wheel and lightens the front. Even a small weight shift can reduce the impact. If you are able, rise slightly onto the pegs. Adventure riders use this technique constantly. By lifting slightly off the seat, your legs act like extra suspension. It allows the bike to move beneath you instead of transferring the shock directly into your body. Do not chop the throttle suddenly. Abrupt deceleration loads the front suspension and makes the impact worse. A steady throttle keeps the bike stable. And let the bike move. The motorcycle might wiggle slightly after the impact. That's perfectly normal. Allow the bike to stabilise naturally. Do not panic or overcorrect. Most bikes will settle quickly if you stay relaxed. Route handling mid-corner bumps. We reach one of the most dangerous situations riders face, a pothole or bump in the middle of a corner. This can be terrifying the first time it happens. The bike is leaned over, the suspension compresses, and it feels like the tyres might slide. Here's how to deal with it. Number 1, do not panic brake. This is the number 1 cause of crashes. Braking mid-corner on a rough surface can overload the front tyre and cause an immediate loss of grip. Instead, hold steady throttle. Let the suspension work. Modern motorcycles have surprisingly capable suspension. Even big bumps can be absorbed if you allow the bike to move naturally. And keep your eyes on the exit. Where you look is where the bike goes. If you stare at the pothole, you risk target fixation and you will hit the pothole. Look through the corner instead. Stay loose. A relaxed rider allows the bike to track over bumps. A tense rider destabilises it. And slightly reduce your lean if possible. If there's room, gently widen your line to reduce the lean handle. Less lean means more traction, but do this smoothly and never abruptly. What happens when you cannot avoid a massive pothole? Every rider eventually faces this moment. You crest a hill or come around a bend, and suddenly, there it is. A huge pothole directly in your path. Traffic prevents swerving, braking might cause a crash, so what now? Here's the safest strategy. Stand slightly on the pegs, lift your weight off the seat, which protects your spine and lets the bike move underneath you. Lighten the front wheel. A gentle roll on the throttle helps. It reduces the impact on the front suspension. And try to keep the bike upright. Avoid turning sharply into the pothole. A straight bike absorbs impact far better. And do not grab the front brake. Braking loads the front wheel and increases the chance of damage or loss of control. Absorb the impact with your legs, which can act as powerful shock absorbers, and let them take the hit. And then stabilise after the impact. Once through the pothole, check for instability. If the bike feels normal, continue riding cautiously. If something feels wrong, pull over safely and inspect the bike. You may have damage to tyres, rims, suspension or wheel alignment. Never ignore a major impact. Sometimes you're stuck riding roads that are just plain awful. Broken tarmac, patches everywhere, cracks and holes constantly. When riding roads like that, reduce speed, because speed magnifies impacts. Even a small speed reduction dramatically improves safety. Increase your following distance, because you need more time to spot hazards. Cars ahead can block your view of potholes. More space equals more reaction time. And stay loose. Rough roads require the bike to move. Relaxed arms and bent elbows help. And then use your legs by slightly lifting off the seat, which helps to absorb repeated bumps. and choose smoother lines. Look for areas of cleaner tarmac, even if it means adjusting your lane position. Experienced riders constantly search for the smoothest path. Your motorcycle setup can also affect how well you handle potholes. Watch your tyre pressures. Overinflated tyres reduce cushioning. Slightly softer pressures, within manufacturer's recommendations, can improve comfort and grip. Never run dangerously low pressures. If your suspension is extremely stiff, potholes feel harsher. Adjusting the preload, compression and rebound, if able, can improve how your bike handles rough roads. Tyre choices also matter. Some tyres have stiffer sidewalls than others. Touring or adventure tyres often absorb bumps better than ultra-stiff sport tyres. And of course, the wheel size of the bike. Bikes with larger front wheels, like adventure bikes, roll over potholes more easily than small wheel sports bikes. If you hit a significant pothole, don't just keep riding without checking the bike. Pull over when safe and inspect the tyres, the rims, the brake discs, the fork alignment. Look for bulges in your tyres, bent rims, leaking fork seals and vibrations while riding. Even if everything looks fine, pay attention during the next few miles. If the bike starts to wobble, vibrate or pull to one side, stop and investigate further. Potholes are frustrating. They damage vehicles, they cost riders money, and in the worst cases, they cause serious accidents. But with the right techniques, you can automatically reduce the risk. Remember the key principles. Scan the road ahead, position yourself wisely, stay relaxed on the bike, let the suspension work, and avoid panic reactions. And when you can't avoid a pothole, stand slightly, stay steady, and let the bike ride it out. Motorcycling will always involve risk, but skilled riders manage that risk through awareness, technique, and experience. Bad roads might be unavoidable, but losing control doesn't have to be. Ride smart and stay alert. If you found this video helpful, please give me a like and subscribe, as it helps us a lot. Keep the rubber on the road, and I'll see you next time. Enjoy the rest of the ride.